Hiuen Tsang and his importance in Harshavardhan's empire. The history of Harshavardhan remains incomplete without a reference to Hiuen Tsang. Among all the foreign travelers who visited ancient India, no one is more famous and more celebrated than this Chinese pilgrim. Rightly, he has been described, therefore, as the Prince of Pilgrims. He is known as the Chinese Master of Law. India is much indebted to this Chinese for the valuable accounts he left behind, with many details of political, religious, and social conditions of those days. His biography, written by another Chinese, is also another valuable source of Indian history. Hiuen Tsang was born in China in 600 AD. Becoming a Buddhist monk at a mere age of 20, he longed for knowing more and more about Buddhism to satisfy his spiritual hunger. But without a visit to India, he knew his desire for learning would remain unfulfilled. When he was about 30, he secretly left China for an adventurous journey towards India. Passing through Tashkent, Samarkand, and Balkh, he finally reached Gandhar in 630 AD. In India, he wanted to visit all the sacred places connected with the life of Buddha, as well as to learn Buddhism through study. During his travel, he covered many more places and observed keenly the social, religious, political, cultural, and economic conditions of the country. Hiuen Tsang visited Kashmir and Punjab. He proceeded to Kapilavastu, Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, Kushinagar. He studied in the University of Nalanda. He also travelled through the Deccan, Orissa, and Bengal. He went almost to every part of India. Harshavardhan came to admire him for his deep devotion to Buddha and his profound knowledge of Buddhism. He honored him in his Kannauj religious assembly and also invited him to attend the Prayag assembly. After attending those two magnificent functions, Hiuen Tsang prepared to leave for China in 644 AD, having spent long 14 years of his life on the soil of India. The emperor was sorry to part with the pilgrim, but he made elaborate arrangements for his safe return. A king named Udito of Jalandhar was authorized by Harshavardhan to take Hiuen Tsang under a strong military escort to the frontiers of India. Beyond the frontiers, the pilgrim was accompanied by Harsha's official guides, who carried letters of authority from the emperor to produce them in other countries. It is understood that Harsha in his letters requested the foreign rulers to provide carriages and other modes of convenience to escort the master, even to the borders of China. Thus helped, Hiuen Tsang finally reached home in 645 AD by the way of Parmes and Kotak. Hiuen Tsang took with him from India 150 pieces of the bodily relics of Buddha, a large number of Buddha's images in gold, silver, and sandalwood, and above all, 657 volumes of valuable manuscripts carried by 20 horses of his escort party. Back in his home in China, he set himself to translate some of those manuscripts into the Chinese language, assisted by several scholars. About 74 Buddhist works were translated during his lifetime, which proved of immense value to the people of China. Hiuen Tsang died in 664 AD. Hiuen Tsang was indeed an ancient ambassador of the peace between China and India. Harshavardhan too was a man of international vision, much like Ashoka. Coming to hear about the prestige of the Chinese emperor from his pilgrim friend, Harshavardhan sent an ambassador to the Chinese court in 641 AD in the person of a Brahmin. 2 years later, 643 AD, the Chinese emperor sent a mission to Harsha. A second Chinese mission, also came in that very year to India. Within the next years, a third mission also came from China, but when he reached India, Harshavardhan was no more. Regarding Hiuen Tsang's praise for Harsha and of the Indian people in his travel accounts, it may be said that the Chinese pilgrim was writing the memoirs of his Indian days in faraway China, without any compulsion or pressure from anybody to give a favorable account of the rulers and the people of another country. He was writing exactly what he saw and what he honestly felt, as well as of what he had heard. As a true Buddhist and pious pilgrim to a holy land, he could not have been dishonest or untruthful in his writings. He had no reason to flatter anybody when far out of sight. He had also no reason to seek anybody's favor for his travel accounts. He was in fact describing the condition of Buddhism in India as he saw. That was the very subject of his prime concern. Other episodes came in as side descriptions. On the whole, Hiuen Tsang's accounts have been accepted as truthful and trustworthy. His writings have thrown immense light on an important era of ancient Indian history. Thank you for listening to our article. Please like and share and subscribe for more meaningful information.